In this video, we are going to study about physical geography of Tamil Nadu. Already in the last part, we have studied about the location and size of Tamil Nadu and about the Western Ghats. In this part, we are going to study about the Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghat is a discontinuous and irregular one dissected by the rivers which drain into the Bay of Bengal. Whereas we have studied about Western Ghats, it is a continuous range. What about the height of these Eastern Ghats? The height ranges from 1100 to 1600 meters. They separate the plains from plateaus. Javadu, Servarayan, Kalrayan, Kollimalai, and Pachaimalai are the major hills located in northern districts of the state. First, let us study about that Javadu Hills. These are the extension of the Eastern Ghats, separates Vellore and Tiruvannamalai districts. Melpattu is its highest peak. This range is covered with bluish grey granites. This is noted for fruit bearing trees, medicinal herbs, and sandalwoods. Due to illegal logging, sandalwood trees are disappeared now. What is logging? Cutting the trees. அதாவது சட்டப்படி இல்லாமல் மரத்தை வெட்டுறதுனால சாண்டல்வுட் ட்ரீஸ் வந்து இப்போது மறைஞ்சு போச்சு. நெக்ஸ்ட் லெட் அஸ் ஸ்டடி அபவுட் தட் கல்வராயன் ஹில்ஸ். Kalvarayan Hills, the name Kalvarayan is from Karalar. Karalar were the ancient tribal people. This range, along with the Pachaimalai, Aralvai Malai, Javadu, and Servarayan Hills, separates the river basins of Kaveri and Palar. The northern section of this is called as Chinna Kalvarayan because the height is less. The height of this is only 825 meters, whereas the southern part of this is known as Periya Kalvarayan. The height of that is 1220 meters. Next, let us study about Servarayan Hills. When we talk about this Servarayan Hills, it is near Salem district. It is with a height of 1200 to 1620 meters. The highest peak in the southern part of the Eastern Ghat, that is Cholai Karadu, is only found in this Servarayan Hill. Okay, the highest peak of southern part of the Eastern Ghat, Cholai Karadu, is located in this Servarayan Hill. What about the height of that Cholai Karadu? That is 1620 meters. Here only we can find that Yerkad. Yerkad is called as the, that is like Ooty. Okay, it is considered as the poor man's Ooty. Okay, which is known as the poor man's Ooty, Yerkad. Okay, and also we can find the temple, Servarayan temple, in this Servarayan Hills. The temple is with a height point at 1623 meters. Next, let us study about the Kolli Hills. It is in Namakkal district. The area covered by that may be 2800 square kilometer. The height of that is 1300 meters. Here also there is an important pilgrim center, that is Arpaleshwara temple. This Kolli Hill is covered with evergreen forests. Other than that, several coffee plantations are there. Fruits, flowers, and silver oak estates are found in this region. Next one, Pachai Malai Hills. The Pachai, that is the term Pachai in Tamil, means green. This is the lowest hill range, spreads over Perambalur, Tiruchirappalli, and Salem districts. The vegetation in this region is greener than the vegetative cover of the other hills. The important or popular agricultural product found here is jackfruit, palapalam. Next, let us study about the plateaus of Tamil Nadu. Plateaus are located between the western and eastern Ghats. I think you know Deccan Plateau you might have studied when you studied about India. It is between western and eastern Ghats. Generally, the shape of that is also triangular. Like the same here, these plateaus cover an area of 60,000 square kilometer. It is in triangular shape. The height of that increases from east to west. Okay. The plateau in Tamil Nadu, the height may increase from east to west. That is, in the eastern level it is low, and in the western side it is high. So, what is the thing you can experience? That is, the rivers, even though they originate in Western Ghats, they are all flowing towards east and drains into Bay of Bengal. Its height ranges between 150 and 600 meters. This is broader in the north and narrow in the south. Other divisions are Baramahal Plateau. It is a part of the Mysore Plateau situated in the northwestern part of Tamil Nadu. Its height ranges from 350 to 710 meters. Dharmaburi and Krishnagiri districts are located in this region. Next, Coimbatore Plateau that lies between Nilgiris and Dharmaburi with the height varies from 150 to 450 meters. The area covered by that may be 2560 square kilometer. Moyar River separates this plateau from the Mysore Plateau. Rivers, some of the rivers like Bhavani, Noyal and Amaravati originate from Western Ghats, form valleys in this region. Many intermontane plateaus, that is not very high, they are not very high, but in between the plateaus you can find some of the plateaus, that is only intermontane plateaus are found in the region of the Nilgiris. Shigur Plateau is one such plateau. The last plateau is Madurai Plateau, found in Madurai district at the foothills of the Western Ghats. Vaigai and Tamarabarani basins are located in this zone. Next, let us pass on to plains of Tamil Nadu. Plains of Tamil Nadu, when we talk about it, may be divided into two, namely inland plains and coastal plains. What do you mean by inland plains? The plains which are away from the coastal region. Okay, inland plains generally drained by the rivers like Palar, Ponnayar, Kaveri, and Tamarabarani. Among these plains, Kaveri Plain is considered as one of the most important and fertile plains of the state. The plains of Kaveri, when we talk about it, is found in many districts such as Salem, Erode, Karur, Tiruchirappalli, Pudukottai, Tanjavur, Tiruvarur, and Nagapattinam districts. So, in all these districts, the plains are drained only by Kaveri River. Next one, coastal plains. Coastal plains of Tamil Nadu are otherwise known as Coromandel or Cholamandalam plain. Cholamandalam is nothing but the land of Cholas, which extends from Chennai to Kanyakumari. This is formed by the rivers that flow towards east, drain in the Bay of Bengal. That is with more than 80 kilometers wide at some places. We can find the sand dunes along the coast of Ramanathapuram and Thuthukudi. Okay, that is called, they are known as terry. Okay, what do you mean by sand dunes? You can see along the coastal region, the sand may be deposited due to gradation in one particular place, that is only called as sand dunes. I think you might have studied about this in your 9th standard. So the sand dunes formed along the coast of Ramanathapuram and Thuthukudi districts are called terry. Next, let us study about beaches. The Coromandel coast along the Bay of Bengal consists of many beautiful and exotic beaches. The golden sands of Tamil Nadu beaches are scattered with palm and casuarinas groves. Palm is panai, casuarina chauku. Okay, generally the golden sands of Tamil Nadu beaches are scattered with these trees. What are the important beaches of Tamil Nadu? We can find that Marina and Elliot beaches of Chennai, Kovalam and Silver beaches of Kanyakumari. Next, let us study about the drainage system of Tamil Nadu. Drainage system is nothing but the rivers. Okay, the rivers are considered as the lifeline. Why? Because without rivers, we cannot do anything. Without water, no agriculture, no industry, nothing is possible. No life, isn't it? So, rivers of Tamil Nadu are its main lifeline. Though it has many rivers, the rivers of Kaveri, Palar, Ponnayar, Vaigai, and Tamrabarani are very important rivers. These rivers generally originate from Western Ghats and they are flowing towards east and drain into Bay of Bengal. Why do they flow towards east? As we have studied already, the plateaus, they are the height of the plateaus are generally increasing from east to west. We have studied already. Because of that reason only, I told you already, even though the rivers originate in Western Ghats, they flow towards east and drain into Bay of Bengal. Next, let us study about Kaveri River. The river Kaveri originates at Talakaveri in the Brahmagiri hills of Kodagiri district of Karnataka in the Western Ghats. Okay, about 416 kilometers of its course falls only in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so it serves as a boundary between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu for a distance of 64 kilometers. We can find that volcanical waterfalls in Dharmaburi district. Mettur Dam may be otherwise known as Stanley Reservoir that is located across this river in Salem district. The major tributary of this Kaveri river is Bhavani that joins this on the right bank about 45 km from the Mettur Reservoir. It has two more tributaries like Noyal and Amaravati. They confluence the river on the right bank at Tirumukkudal 10 km from Karur. Since the Kaveri river is wider in this region, that is called as Aganda Kaveri. In Tiruchirappalli district, the river branches into two. What are they? The northern branch may be called as Kollerun or Kolledam, and the southern branch is Kaveri. So from here, the Kaveri Delta begins. After flowing for about 16 kilometers, this north and southern branch, they join together and form that Srirangam Island. The Grand Anicut, also called as Kalanai, was built across this Kaveri river only. Next, let us study about Palar. Palar and Tenpennayar. Palar river rises beyond Talagvara village, that is in the Kolar district of Karnataka. When we talk about the tributaries of this Palar river, that may be Ponnai, Kaundindya Nadi, Malattar, Seyyar, and Kiliyar. Okay, these are the major tributaries of Palar river. And what about the district which is drained by this? It flows through the districts of Vellore and Kanjipuram before entering into Bay of Bengal near Kuvattur. Next, let us study about the Tenpennayar or Tenponnayar. This originates from the eastern slope of Nandidurga hills in eastern Karnataka. It flows for a distance of 247 km in the southeasterly direction. Okay, what are the districts benefited out of this? Like Krishnagiri, Dharmaburi, Vellore, Tiruvannamalai, Kadalur, and Viluppuram. This This also branches into two as Kadilam and the Ponnayar near Tirukkoyilur Anaikat. The heavy rain at the river's source caused sudden but short-lived floods. It is not a very heavy but a short-lived floods may occur due to this. There are reservoirs at Krishnagiri and Satanur across this river. The Ponnayar is considered a sacred river by Hindus and they are celebrating festivals during Tamil month Thai. Next, let us study about Vaigai and Thamirabarani. Vaigai River rises from the eastern slopes of the Varasanadu Hills of Western Ghats in Tamil Nadu. It also drains an area of 7,741 square kilometer. It flows through the districts like Madurai, Sivaganga, and Ramanathapuram. The surplus water from the tanks is finally discharged into Park Strait near Ramanathapuram. Okay, this Vaigai River discharges its water into the Ramnath big tank and some other small tanks. The surplus water from these tanks is finally discharged into Park Strait near Ramanathapuram. The last river, Tamarabarani, you can understand from that term Thamiram. Thamiram means copper. Varani means streams of river. The water of this river gives a copper-like appearance due to the presence of dissolved suspended red soil. Okay, how it is? It is giving an appearance of copper due to presence of dissolved suspended red soil. The origin of this river is associated with sage Agasthyar. It courses through or it drains the districts of Tirunelveli and Thoothukudi and finally flow into the Bay of Bengal near Punnaikayal in Thoothukudi district. What are the main tributaries of this Thamirabarani? Karayar, Servalar, Manimuttar, Kadanandai, okay, Pachayar, Chittar and Ramanadi. All these are the main tributaries of Thamirabarani river. So up to now, still now, we have studied about the Eastern Ghats, plateaus, plains and the drainage system. I would like to tell you about the islands of Tamil Nadu. What are the various islands of Tamil Nadu? They are Pamban, Hare, Krushadai, Nalatambithivu, Pullivasal, Srirangam, Upputhanni, Island Grounds, Kattupalli Island, Kubal Island, and Vivekananda Rock Memorial are some of the major islands of Tamil Nadu. So, with this we finish this video. Thank you, students.